Welcome back, recruits. I'm Chris Nance with the Northern California Ghostbusters, and today we have a little bit of sponsored content for you. We are going to be showing you how to install the Redman Studio Workshop V-hook replacement for your HasLab Proton Pack. Let's get going. We already have Greg's HasLab open here. If you need a tutorial on how to do that, we have a link to the video. We have a link to our video on how to disassemble your pack in the description below. Once you are at this stage, the first step is going to be taking off the stock hardware. And to do that, I'm going to use a Phillips head screwdriver and some needle nose pliers. Looking from the inside of the pack here, you can see we've got 2 screws, and those are the 2 screws that you can see the outside of on the V-hook itself. That's where the needle nose pliers are gonna come in. I'm gonna go just hold those nuts that are on the inside there in place with a pair of pliers while I back out those screws with the screwdriver.
And I'm gonna do my best to stay out of his way.
Yeah.
With the camera right in his face.
Yeah. Really quickly get it the rest of the way by hand. And there's the other nut, and if I can get it, the washer, which they use some pretty heavy duty washers on this. I'm kind of surprised. The stock hardware out of the way, we need to open up the holes for the screws that the V-hook uses. And to do that, I'm gonna flip it up on its side like so. And then we're gonna take a 1/4 inch drill bit. Oh, hello. That I did not expect.
Ooh,
interesting.
We thought that was molded on.
Yeah, this changes the dynamics of things a little bit here.
Well, now you can put the more accurate one on for sure.
Yeah.
That, I could have sworn that was molded on. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't quite realize myself. That's quite nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Unexpected. We'll do it live.
Okay. No, yeah, uh-huh.
You never studied.
I am taking some flush cutters to this peg real quick. Shout out to Nomake for recommending some nice fancy flush cutters. I mean, they were like $8 on Amazon, so I don't know how fancy, but they're nicer than what I had. Oh. So something to note here, and it'll become really apparent once you like have his hook in hand and you're inspecting this piece. Like, he hand cuts and sands all of these. So like the pack side hook, you can see really closely, like it's got like one slightly beveled corner on one side, and then it's got a completely flat corner on the other side. So if you need your hook to fit a little bit tighter or looser, you can basically take some like fine grit sandpaper to it, like 120, like 100, 120, something like that. And you don't want to remove a whole lot. You want to just basically shave it down a tiny bit in certain dimensions. So it's bevel side in. So if you do that and then hold it how it would end up, and then take that outer hook off, you're gonna end up with a square edge on the outside.
So sand it down to personal taste if you don't like how tight it is.
Mm-hmm. Packside V-hook is made up of a couple of pieces, basically stacked aluminum pieces here. Danny includes this little cut acrylic spacer piece, and that is to fill the slot left behind by the stock HasLab spacer. We're gonna have the acrylic spacer, and then we're gonna have the foot plate, then the middle plate, and then your top plate. And then in Danny's kit, those are gonna be held together with they're set screws, basically.
He includes an Allen wrench in his set too, which is
But he includes the correct Allen wrench in his set as well.
This is good, thanks Danny.
Yeah.
And if you're doing Afterlife build, Danny actually has another one available where it's just basically just damaged. It's like really damaged to hell, like scratched up and used.
All beat up.
All beat up. Like so beat up, there's barely any black on it, but there is some. So if you're a stickler for that kind of stuff, he does make that option to make a screen accurate Afterlife V-hook. This is not GB2 and GB1 accurate though.
Open your holes up to 1/4 inch, and then it's spacer, foot plate, middle plate, and then hook. And the hook itself is the bit that is actually threaded. You know what? Yeah, they're 1/4 20, which is nice. 1/4 20 is a super common thread size. I often say in my normal life, like 1/4 20 holds the world together, because the majority of machine screws that you're gonna run into out in the wild are like either like 832, 1032, or 1/4 20. You have things lined up, you're gonna take your included Allen wrench. I'm just getting both of these set screws started. I'm not necessarily getting them all the way to their final position. Because we also need to get in there with and nut them, and we're gonna use a little bit of thread locker for that. Normally, thread lock is very simple stuff to use. You find it just about everywhere, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, anywhere. You apply a drop or two to your threads and then screw it together, and then it glues everything together for you. We have a slightly more difficult application here. Instead of applying it to the screw side, the threads of the screw, what I'm going to apply it to is actually the threads of the bolt, and then I'm going to screw these guys together. I'm going to hold the bolt in place while I screw it down flush.
A little goes a long way.
Yeah, you really just need a single drop for this. So there's one.
And you want to make sure it's flush. Remember, you don't want any of it above the hook.
Yep. Okay,
Flawless execution.
first try.
We definitely didn't spend like 20 minutes trying to get it out of the bottom.
Because we're kind of having to apply the thread locker backwards, it's sort of difficult getting the screw tight on there. Partially because you don't have any outward pressure from here except from the thread itself. You're basically like kind of having to tighten on one end and tighten on the other end, and then tighten down on the one end and then tighten down on the other. You kind of have to go back and forth with it. You saw me, I used gloves. Definitely break out some nitrile or latex gloves or whatever you have handy, something to protect, keep that stuff off your skin. But yeah, it's just kind of a finicky little fit. So now we got to put the pack back together. Always make, especially if you're leaving your electronics in place like we did here today, make sure that you plug everything back in and double check that it works before you put it all back together again.
But pack side is done.
But the pack side of the V-hook is done. Part 2. Got to install the wand side V-hook. It should be a little bit simpler than doing the pack side V-hook. But to do that, we need to take the gun track off of the bottom plate of the thrower. So to do that, you're going to do these 4 screws here. And then we need to take this stock hook off.
It's worth mentioning on the bottom of the gun track, there may be glue or extended, if you don't have mods like ours, there may be glue or extended screw holes or holdings, whatever you call them.
Sprues.
Sprues on the bottom. We cut those short.
Yeah.
So yours might be longer. That's fine. Just, yeah.
Yeah, there's no difference going on there really. It's just like where the V-hook screws actually nut into on the plastic. So if you want to do it the super duper simple way, the super duper simple way would just be to do what I just did and then reverse it with Danny's hook.
With the stock screws.
With the stock screws. To offer a little bit of a deeper explainer to everybody, once you have your gun track off, this is what the inside of it is going to look like. On a completely stock wand, this spot right here will stand a little bit taller, and will look a little bit more intact. It'll just be like a little plastic plug thing. But you can see on this side where we've actually fully removed the plug, it's just like a little hexagonal shaped hole. And the reason for that is the way that the stock hardware is put on basically is it is just a nut and then a plastic plug that's glued into place over that nut to hold it in place. And then that's what the hardware for the stock V-hook actually plugs into. So if you have a completely stock wand or you've only done cosmetic changes to your wand, you do not have the GP Star kit, you are perfectly fine to just take the stock screws out of the stock V-hook, put Danny's V-hook in its place, and then put those stock screws right back in place. Those will hold.
So a good thing to note is on the left side here is Danny's screw that comes with the kit, which is about 1 inch long. That's too long if you have a modded thrower with the GB Star kit. The one on the right is a stock screw, which is what, half inch? It looks like it's about half inch. You can use this one if you have a modded GP Star kit, because this one is too long. Unless yours is unmodded, it will not fit, or if it's a custom thrower, it'll fit. But you need a shorter screw for the kit, specifically to get the clearance for the board that's below here, because this is too long, and we'll hit the board. Okay.
Yeah, I just put the nut back in place and held it while I screwed it in from the other side.
So then we just put the 4 screws back on the wand, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And that is how you install the Redman Studio Workshop V-hook replacement. Available on his website right now for $48 for this kit that you just saw us install. That's just like the standard version, and it's pretty much just like a straight 1-to-1 plug and play. You just have to drill a couple of holes on the packs. There is a screen accuratized version that more closely replicates the looks of the V-hooks from Afterlife, where it's much more heavily scuffed up and damaged, and there's a big groove worn down the center. And those are $95.
Shout out to Danny for supplying us.
Big shout out to Danny for sponsoring this video and supplying us with the kit. As always, we love working with Redman Studio. He does a lot of good stuff, and for pretty reasonable pricing too. The link for everything will be in the description below. And once again, Danny has provided us with a very helpful coupon code. If you are buying something from the Redman Studio Workshop website, try to use NorCalGB10 on the coupon code for 10% off your order. It's a huge help to us because it just kind of helps us keep track of how many people are being sent Danny's way from these videos.
And we do not get commission.
Yeah, we do not get paid. We get paid in parts.
Parts, yes.
Yeah, we get paid in kits. They give us parts, and that's how I survive. I'm gonna go buy lunch with a V-hook actually after this. So, if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below the video. If you have a build that you're in the middle of and you want to show it to us, or you need some advice, join our Discord. Link is also in the description below. Until next time, recruits, I'm Chris Nance with the Northern California Ghostbusters, and we'll see you later.
Very good, Lewis. Short but pointless.